I would like to upload my concluding remarks. Could you please confirm if you see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. Well, at the end of this fruitful discussion with both EU MPs and representatives from civil society organizations, we finally come to the concluding remarks based on the qualitative analysis on the results of the survey, launch on the debate on the Recovery and Resilience Facility that from now on I will refer as RRF. Let's start with the first proposition, as shown in the first slide. The Recovery and Resilience Facility is clearly a gender-sensitive issue in either active and passive way. That means that if in one hand, women have been proven to be by far one of the most mindful groups of the debate revolving around the recovery funds at the EU and national level, especially those aged between 25 and 45, show indeed a good level of generic knowledge of the fund. On the other hand, women identify themselves as the main recipient in need of extraordinary assistance from their states. The second reflection we should take into account is that women perceived at some point by abandoned by state and or disappointed of state social policies and still being the weakest link in EU society. This is what clearly has been reflected in the survey in qualitative terms. In fact, women seem more than others inclined to demand for more protection and social fairness of the disadvantaged group at risk on the part of the state by showing more sympathies for the vulnerable group, that particular societal segment which they feel to belong to, along with young people, migrants, disabled minorities. Secondly, women have expressed their preference on the social nature of the action that states should take as a part of the healing process. The third result comes as not surprise to us in as much it comes just as a direct consequences to what we have just said, that is, women believe that the recovery fund should be used as to remedy to past societal asymmetries through a more empowered state welfare and subsidiarity. As I said, the vast majority of the surveyed seems to have turned their attention more to the social dimension of the state's policies rather than focusing on economic-driven action in terms of productivity, competitiveness, free labor markets. Indeed, a reinforced welfare program and improved social rights are the core demands, as if states were called upon to repair the social inequalities of the past. Other demands include, and I'm mentioning those found in the survey itself, a more accessible public health system versus a private health system, and this has been confirmed during the MFP speeches and also from the input of the project partner. An enhanced social benefit program, such as public housing, social benefits to assist single parent families, social shock absorbers, equal pay, and measures against poverty and social inclusion, and still work-life balance, mission support of women, and social security, pension, unemployment benefit, and etc. etc. Last but not least, women advocate for a better form of redress for economic injustice through a fairer taxation system, stronger gender budgeting and gender in public procurement, and encouragement of female entrepreneurship. In keeping with what said, more welfare, more subsidiarity is definitely a call that outstandingly emerged from the survey in a transversal manner from all the sector covered in the survey: education, green, gender, social rights, but of course not only limited to these issues. To conclude, we can resume all these results in only one, that is definitely women stand for a shift in the culture economic model of reference rather than in a political change that ultimately pose human beings and their social needs at the very center of what social model is supposed to be in the post-COVID scenario and certainly in the future of the EU. So before finishing the event, I'm still seeing if there are further questions or from the floor, or if the participant would like to answer something that hasn't been not answered yet.
I think we need to be more united. Women need to be more united. This is our time to focus better in women and economic for European countries. This is our time.
Yeah, it's quite confirmed that most of the participants actually of the survey are women, and also attending this event, I guess, are women. And further comments, I really would like to invite people attending the event from the public. It's time to share your comments if you have any. I don't know.
Caterina.
Yeah.
If I can, I would only add something from our working group. Some of the reflection that we have shared together, I think would be very important also for the project. About the gender perspective, try to improve also the meaning of gender, because many of our young people participating in the working group are not focused only on men and women. And another point that about gender was that we would like to include more and more men in this fight for gender equality. It was a very lack also in our working group, and I have seen that many of our participants underline the need to involve more and more men in this fight. And the last point was about generation. Many of the participants again are very young, and it's very important also to involve them, but of course using these multimedia tools, social network and so on, it's very difficult to involve also the adults and the more adults that can't maybe use at the same at the same level the multimedia communication tools. So we would like also to improve these gaps in our social pillar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you for your further contribution to the debate. And this is true. It was also what's clearly emerging from that survey. Women ask a shift in education and culture by trying to involving also men in this fight, as you said, and in the meantime they are asking to from the state a sort of balancing the asymmetries they had, so asking for more social protection, social rights at the workplace, economic rights, and so on. So anyone else would like to say something? We are just at the very end of the event.
Just a question for Valentina and to you, Caterina. All these surveys results, how will be they finally used by MAPS? Will they provide a suggestion for laws or EU laws, or will it be just the final surveys of the project? Because I think when I say there is our time, a lot of women networks in Europe are in this month are working to present some motion to European Parliament. I hope this will be also made by our project, I mean, by the WISE4Challenges project, because a lot of very cute, interesting points were focused by our partners, by Libera, by all our partners in Coma. So these are just starting points for giving them the opportunity to address some motion at the European Parliament through the recovery fund. So I think and I hope this will be by our maps. So this is my question. How will they use? How will this be used? Thank you so much, Tina, for the reply.
Thank you, Grazia. Yes, we create a recommendation at the end of the project addressed to the EU institution, not only European Parliament, and each institution, according with their role, will adopt and use this recommendation that comes from civil societies to improve the policies and programs at European level.
Yeah, yes. As Valentina said, definitely this will be the final huge effort, trying to summarize all the results we collected from the surveys and trying to extrapolate from the analysis of these the policy recommendation. After we could start advocating for this solution in which emerged from the bottom. This is really important. One of the approach which most characterize the project is that all the surveys trying to bring proposition and issues from the civil society to the EU institution, trying to subvert the ordinary order, let's say, so not dropping from the top to the bottom, but trying to involve participant and public, and trying to find recommendation, policy recommendation from them, and try to bring them to the EU representatives, the parliament in the first position. Sure.
There is a comment from Paola Rizzi. A very interesting and enlightening debate. As a journalist, as a journalist, I think that the role of the media in highlighting these issues is fundamental, and the media do not always fulfill their role and task on gender gap issues. We agree, of course. Thank you for this comment. important comment.
Yes, we agree. Surely is an issue, and again, when a shift in culture at the cultural level is demanded, that means that also media should, as all the other stakeholders, which have a key role in cultural issues, should help should help disseminate and trying to propose positive narratives which are in favor of a gender of trying of the gender equality or related other relevant issues. I don't know if someone else would like to answer to this question. Also, the other partners for the project. Some education issues haven't been touched, so I'm thinking of other partners. Okay.
Okay, so we can close our meeting. I thank you all very much.